Okay, can I just say that I did this reading for fun because I love Blackpink, I love BTS, I love Jennie, I love V, and OMFG, this reading went down a path that shocked me. Listen, number one, I'm just a tarot reader, I'm just a girl, so I could be misinterpreting what I see, but baby, if you like me ever wondered if Jennie and V dated and why they stopped dating, then stay sat for the tea. I tried to be respectful as possible while relaying the message, and please remember that idols are people too, and everybody makes mistakes, and we all learn through life as we go through it. No one's perfect. And of course, everything I say in this video is all alleged, and with peace and love, let's go! On the left will be V, and on the right will be Jennie, and this is the energy in between. Knight of Cups, oh, he's protective of her. The relationship is complicated. I feel like she thought that's what she wanted. I feel like she had fun while they were together. Oh, I don't... Protective. Yeah. Well, okay, like, if you were questioning if they ever had a relationship at all, they definitely did. This is a very strong relationship card. Also, you have the Two of Swords, two couples. Two people in a relationship. Swords is thought. This is emotions. They thought about each other a lot. They cared about each other a lot. He's super protective. You know, he shows up as the Knight of Cups. I don't know what either of their star signs are, but the Three of Wands on his side, like, things didn't go according to plan for him with her specifically. I don't even necessarily think for him things didn't go according to plan in terms of like he was planning on like marrying her, but more just like he had like a vision for her and like she was like, I'm gonna go do something else. This is her moving away from something or transitioning or the need to, and it's facing the couples card. I feel like she on it. Okay, don't shoot the messenger, but it seems like she was the one that ended the relationship. Like, she wasn't happy for some reason. I feel like it might have been that there was too strong of a commitment. Yeah, because it seems like he had sort of like a brotherly or like a fatherly sort of energy. Like, if in this relationship he seems like a very protective person, she seemed like she had fun in the relationship. I don't know if it's to be honest, the relationship ending feels mutual, but mutual in kind of like quotes where it was sort of like, yeah, I agree with you, but I feel like it was more her being more uncomfortable in the relationship, because this card talks about like moving away, like transitioning. It's in the reverse position, but it's facing this card, and this card is like commitment essentially. Temperance, lack of balance. Oh yeah, I think they were like a mutual support for each other because they were both, you know, really popular idols in the industry. Really famous, very popular, about the same age, just had like really similar life experiences. I think they were emotionally supportive of each other. I think they were on the same page intellectually. I think things started to become stressful. In part, I think it was just like their lives in general were starting to like ramp up a lot. This connection feels very old. It seems like they've talked for a long time. I think there are rumors that they've been dating for like, I don't even know, like what, 5 years. I think a lot of things that are said about the relationship, if you hear the whispers or whatever, are kind of true. For some reason, the relationship turned sour. The Temperance is like a lack of emotional stability and balance on his side, and then Jennie, it's the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles can talk about greed, but it could also talk about like a need for control or over control. It's interesting because these two cards are very similar to each other, and it's sort of like I don't come for me, I'm a blink, but these two cards sometimes can indicate almost like superiority, or like you not like you feel like you're better than somebody else, but more like you're just sort of like, I'm like a big deal, like, I don't know, like treat me like that, if that makes sense. I feel like she just kind of grew almost tired of him and being in a relationship in general. I feel like, to me, okay, on Jennie's side, it genuinely feels sort of like she just was like held back by the relationship almost. On his side, it seems like he I think is a very emotional person. Super emotional, very thoughtful, very caring. But it's almost like he started to have like mental health struggles of some sort, or just some sort of like emotional like instability. I wouldn't necessarily call him controlling either, but I would say that that played a role in almost, I feel like Jennie doesn't like to be told what to do, and he's somebody that wants to tell people what to do, and sort of like, oh, like, you should do this, like it's better for your health, or it's better for your career, something like that. And she was like, literally, like, you're not my dad. That's sort of the vibe. But both of them, I think, became uncomfortable near the end of their relationship, just being together. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you've known someone for a really long time, but the relationship is starting to not become healthy, and it's hard to let go because you really care about the person and you want them to be and have the relationship that you had in the beginning, even if you can't ever get back there. Knight of Wands again. It's very protective, very fast moving. The Knight of Wands is somebody that like, builds things up. It's facing away though. So I think like when the relationship ended, he was quite sad, and then it was sort of like an opportunity for him. For Jennie, I do think she kind of like initiated the talks of ending the relationship. It's tough though, because I feel like he was sort of like, okay, like whatever, went off, did whatever he wanted to do. I mean, he's in the military, but the moon though was like, the moon can be lies, deceit, and deception. It can also be like going inward and like, what's the word? Doing a lot of like soul searching. But you have the Five of Cups in the middle. You have the Five of Cups in the middle, which is like focusing on the things that you've lost. Oddly, I feel like he came up better out of the relationship than she did. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, no, like I want to end the relationship, I don't want to work on it, like I just want to be done with it. And then it was almost like she like regretted it, or like she was like, I made a hasty decision of some sort. I don't know. Or that could also mean though that like they ended on like a bad note, like somebody did something that like betrayed somebody else. The moon can talk about deception, essentially. Not taking care of yourself. Oh my god, shut up. I literally cannot say that. Ooh, honestly, no, I don't want to mince words here. Okay, so this tells a story. So, moon, lies, deceits, deception, yes? And then this, when you look at this card, there's like a man, and then these cups are like, on Jennie's side, they're like, on the ground, like they're emptied, whatever. On this side, his cups are upright. He's the Knight of Wands. Knights are very noble. So on V's side, you have Judgment, which I feel like he learned some information that ended the relationship, especially because the Knight of Pentacles is on his side. Pentacles is like physical things. The Empress is in the reverse position, which is like a lack of like nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself. I really get the impression that she did something that like betrayed him in some way. Also because I don't know, I just figured it out. Oh my gosh. Okay. Jennie, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, Jennie may or may not have done something that betrayed V's trust. And that's what ended the relationship. So in a sense, she initiated the ending of the relationship. I feel like she did it because she wasn't feeling supported in the relationship, or she felt very held back by the relationship. I think it really affected V, and then he was sort of like, oh, like whatever, and just kind of like went about his business. But it's sort of like Judgment is like Judgment Day, so it's sort of like the information would have come out at some point or another, and then he was sort of like, okay. So in a way, she did initiate the breakup. I do feel like to a degree it was mutual. I feel like he wasn't that mad about it. I feel like if anything, it just kind of lit like a fire under him to be like, all right, like whatever, I'm gonna go do whatever I want to do. Jennie was very, very didn't take it well. I'll say that much. It just seemed like a really tough transition for her. Again, I don't know what this betrayal was. I don't know what this deception was. It might have been an accident, but like something unforgivable. I don't know. It might have been intentional. I don't know. But I think that's kind of what ended the relationship. The Devil, releasing of something toxic. The Emperor, like a loss of power, stability. Girl, Jennie, what the hell? I'm a fan of Blackpink. I'm a fan of BTS. This is literally like the card of like deception, lies, someone who steals things. Like this card is like somebody who is like it's somebody like genuinely like stealing things from like a group of like campers or whatever. That's so crazy. Oh my gosh, literally tea. So he lost something. I think the relationship in the beginning was great, very emotionally supportive, very intellectually like stimulating. They were on the same page. I don't know if it's because they're both like in the spotlight. I don't know if they were just really like poorly matched for each other, but the relationship turned sour. I would honestly, because I feel like their relationship is a little bit complicated too, where it's like they weren't 100% like committed, like we are boyfriend and girlfriend, like this is it, this is official the whole time they were together. I think it was a lot of like we're in the talking stages, and then it was, you know, like yeah, like we're together, and then hey, it's my life's getting really busy, like let's take a break, but I still want to talk to you. But anyway, the devil is a releasing of something. The emperor is like a loss of control or power, and this is literally like thievery or like lying or like doing something like nefarious of some sort. I'm so not me like at a loss for words. I'm just surprised. I didn't think it'd go that way. Death, the lack of like a rebirth or starting something new. The Ace of Cups in the reverse position, a lack of emotions, and then this is like luxury, getting everything you want. I think Jenny was attracted more to like having fun, being famous, buying stuff, like whatever you would think like a celebrity is doing with like all of their money and fame. I think she wanted more of that. That's partly why she made the choices that she made. The King of Swords is somebody who's maybe not in like the most sound of mind, or is almost like weaponizing their words in some way. The Fool, naivety, but it's like, oh, like a lack of preparedness. I don't know. I think this was the first type of this relationship either of them have had. I wouldn't say necessarily it's the first relationship either of them have had, but it's one where it was like a pretty serious one, especially because like they are famous, you know, and have pretty busy schedules. For on V's side, I will say that like he seemed like a protective partner. He seemed like somebody who took the breakup rather well. It was like the releasing of things. It was sort of like a relief almost. It was sort of like it gave him new perspective, and I think the relationship was pretty toxic for him. I feel like for Jenny, it's interesting and kind of surprising, I'll be honest, but it seemed like she was a partner. She really values her freedom, and she like wanted to have fun. She wanted to be in the sun. She wanted to like party and maybe like be with other people. And I don't know if she was necessarily communicating that as well as she could have been. And I also really strongly see that like she did something that ended the relationship. It doesn't seem like it ended in a big fight though. It seemed almost kind of like she was like, hey, like she like texted him, I don't know. It was like, hey, like I don't know, kissed a guy at like a club or whatever, and he was like, oh, okay, like I don't want to be with you anymore. It just seemed very like she told him like what she had done, and he was sort of like, that's unfortunate, and then they ended the relationship. And that's why I feel like I think was kind of done also like nearing the end of the relationship. I don't think he was particularly blindsided, but I also don't think he knew. And I think on Jenny's part, I think in general during that, because this feels kind of like this is like stagnant energy. So to me, this feels like this, like when, if you were paying at all attention to the news, this was like slightly mentioned, but it was sort of like they broke up, but like neither company addressed it, so we were all just kind of like, is this real or not? This feels like they did break up like about a year and some change ago, and I don't really know if they've talked that much since or at all. It seemed like Jenny was in a really hard spot in her life, and like mentally and emotionally, and the relationship just kind of had to go because she couldn't like handle it anymore, if that makes sense. I don't think they're well suited for each other. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they're well suited for each other, just because he seems like somebody that I don't know exactly who he would like, but he's somebody that seems pretty like disciplined and emotional and very intuitive and kind of like quiet and kind of wants to chill and vibe. She seems like somebody who actually really likes to like party and be like the center of attention and likes the spotlight and likes fun and fast and like flirty. Yeah. And I can understand why they would get together, because there are similarities between them. I think they both are pretty introspective. They're both very good at their careers. I think that was a really big draw for both of them too, as they were physically attracted to each other, and they were like, you do the same thing I do. And I do think they had fun, and I do think they connected. And also, I feel like Jennie changed a lot more than V did in the relationship. In the beginning, I think they were pretty evenly matched, but she grew a lot. I mean, you grow a lot in like 5 years, especially in your 20s. And I think that was kind of the change. I think he is somebody that evolves more slowly than she does. I think she's somebody that changes and sheds her skin a lot. Well, literally do not come for me about this.